Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far. So today I'm super excited because there's two products here that I have been desperate to try and get my hands on. As soon as I saw the sneak peeks of these products coming out, they were both products and brands that I'm excited, just always excited to try. And we are going to be trying out the Goss contour and bronzing palette against the Patrick Ta cream contour and powder bronzer palette. So these are two brands, like I said, that I'm always excited to see what they put out. I've always gotten really well with Patrick Ta's products in general. I love his blushes. I really like his brow wax, and all of his lip products have just been amazing. I love him as an artist and the type of makeup that he does. Same thing goes from Goss. I've been watching him for years, and although I didn't love his eyeshadow palette, I feel like a lot of the products he put out, they just always scream like me. They're always products that I'm interested and intrigued in trying and seeing. And I haven't tried his blush and highlight duos, although I really wanted to. I was kind of confused about the combos and I couldn't quite find the duo that was perfect for me. Like I wanted a highlight out of one and the blush out of another. Do you know what I mean? But when I saw this, I knew I had to try it. I knew I needed to try it. So I thought, given that the Goss one has literally only just arrived today, I did pay extra for expedited shipping from Beautylish, but oh my goodness, it still took a good long while to get to me. I ordered it as soon as it came out and it's only just arrived now. So yeah, both of these palettes are available in 3 shades, and I picked up the medium shade in both the Patrick Ta and the Goss. So it should make for a fun comparison. They are similarly priced. The Goss is slightly more expensive and you get a hair more product than the Patrick Ta. If you live in the UK, the Patrick Ta is going to get to you much quicker and be much cheaper shipping wise, although the Goss is free standard shipping. That was going to take a couple of weeks to get to you probably, and $15 for expedited shipping. So once tax and everything is included, the Goss is £41 and the Patrick Ta 35. So yeah, you're going to save yourself £6 here and get slightly less product, and it's going to get to you a lot quicker. The Patrick Ta has a cream contour and a powder bronzer. So you see you have this little cover here to keep the powder and the cream separate, whereas both products in the Goss palette are powder. So that's the major difference between the two. Both compacts feel nice and weighty and have a nice large mirror in there, so that's something to be aware of. Obviously Wayne comes in his classic black and silver, and the Patrick Ta in the rose gold of his brand. So yeah, pretty much what you'd expect from both brands. Patrick's is portrait and Wayne's is landscape. I wouldn't have thought that's going to affect anyone's choice, but you just never really know, do you? So let's get some swatches going and then we'll get into the demo. First up, the Goss bronzer and contour. So first up, Wayne's bronzer and contour. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see on camera, but the bronzer has the most gorgeous luminosity. There doesn't appear to be any shimmer particles, but it is super luminous and just catches the light and is just glowy and gorgeous, but without being glittery or shimmery. And of course the contour is matte. So that's the Goss bronzer and contour. And now for Patrick's palette, the creamy contour. As you can see, it gets quite wet in the pan, and the powder bronzer. So there's the bronzer and the cream. So there you have Wayne's bronzer and contour and Patrick's bronzer and contour. I think that the bronzer in the Patrick Ta palette is warmer and Wayne's is a bit more neutral. You'll also notice that Patrick's cream contour has like a cream finish and his bronzer is matte, whereas Wayne's bronzer has that gorgeous luminosity and his contour is matte. So there are definitely some similarities and some differences. A lot of this is going to come down to your personal preference for formula and finish. So let's get on with the demo and try these both on my cheeks and see if there's a clear winner. So I'm going to start with the cream from the Patrick Ta palette, just because that is a cream and obviously we do creams first. So I'm going to do the cream contour first. I'm using my Refa 17 brush, which is like my preferred base brush. I use this for foundation as well as anything like cream contour or bronzer. I mean, that is just an absolute piece of cake to lay that down. It's definitely not like a scary, overwhelming contour. Like contour can be quite scary, can't it? But I feel like this one, it's reminding me kind of like the amount of build up or opacity that like the Charlotte Tilbury ones have, as in, you know, you can just lay a small amount down and it's not going to be super dramatic. I'm just going to kind of go around the top of my forehead and using my hairline to blend that in. You can see it's very cool. Like, yeah, on its own this would look crazy, but as we add the bronzer, it's going to add that warmth back in over the top of this contour, and hopefully it'll look a little less like muddy, a little less ashy as contour on its own. Like here, that's just like a grey stripe, but you know, once the bronzer is added in, hopefully it'll be fine. Okay, so now we're going in with the bronzer from this same palette and my Sonia G Face Pro, which is my favourite. Now when I do contour and bronzer that are both powder, I would usually bronze first then contour, because it's just easy to blend the contour into the bronzer. But obviously when you're using a cream, you've kind of got to go with the cream first. So I'm just adding this bronzer and I'm kind of going over where the contour is, but keeping it higher. And that's going to give me the most natural effect. Definitely like a pretty natural looking bronzer. Like, it's definitely not giving me too much. It's going on beautifully over the top of my foundation. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Okay, so I've cleaned my brush off and now I'm going to be going in with the Wayne Goss side. Let me just make sure I get this the right way around. So with the Wayne Goss, because they are both powders, I'm going to go in with the bronzer first, because that's just going to give me something to blend my what the hell? So with the Wayne side, I'm going in with the bronzer first because they are both powders. Excuse my hair, just trying to have its moment. And I just personally find that it's easy to contour when you've got a bronzer to kind of contour into, and it just gives you that place to aim for. It's less intimidating when you've just got that, you know, bronzer already laid down. I keep on having to just check that I'm going into the right one here because they do look quite similar in the pan. Again, this is super natural. I love the tone of this bronzer and it has such a gorgeous sheen to it, but it really doesn't. When I swatched it, I was like, wow, it's almost like a highlight. Like, it's so beautifully sheeny, but there's just, I really was trying to look very, very closely and I just can't see any visible glitter, but it is so luminous. I love the finish of this Wayne bronzer. The tone of that bronzer, I just feel like that's so natural. Like, this side is, I'm concerned it's looking a little muddy, and it's just because that contour was really quite cool. And with the bronzer, I feel like that side has maybe looking a little muddy. This side, I feel like this tone of this bronzer is so natural. Like, this is like replicating, you know, that's a real natural sun-kissed look. I love the tone of this. So now for the contour, I'm going to use my Refa 19 brush and I'm going, oh, whoa, that has really kicked up in the pan, so I'm a little scared. It's obviously quite loosely pressed, so I'm going to really tap that off because I don't want to get like too much. Okay, well, that's perfect. That's, wow, okay. I don't know what I was expecting, honestly. Not that I wasn't expecting it to be good. I just don't know what I was expecting. But That was perfect. I think I was just expecting it to be too grey, maybe. I don't know. Sorry, I'm not putting over here. I'm just trying to get rid of my hair. But yeah, that was just a seamless dream. That just blended into that bronzer just like a dream, which is exactly why I like to do it that way around, because I just feel like it's so easy to just, you know, just add a little definition in there rather than having to then make sure it's in the perfect place. It doesn't come down too far or up too high, and it's just, you know, you're just adding a little something to the hollow. But that was like perfect for me. I feel like that went beautifully exactly how I wanted it to. And yes, there's a lot of kick up, so that contour you're going to have to be careful of that, because your brush, if you use a natural hairbrush, that's going to pick up a lot of that product. Like, you can see how much kicked up, and that was just touching lightly. So yeah, that, just be warned, go gentle, tappy tap off, or something terrible may happen. So here we are, nice and close up, nice natural, low lighting. This is the Patrick Tar side. Now the glow on this side, I feel like it's coming from the cream contour, pretty much. The bronzer seems quite matte, whereas on this side you can see that glow and that luminosity that is definitely the bronzer, and that contour that's really just popping that cheekbone. I definitely feel like this side looks way more snatched, like contoured, whereas this side, the Patrick Tar side, is much more subtle because you kind of went over it with the bronzer. With it being a cream, you know, you've kind of got to apply the cream first, so it's a bit more like melted together, but this side is definitely keeping that kind of cream texture to it from the contour, whereas this side is definitely like a more snatched look to it. So this is Patrick, this is Wayne. No, it's so hard to choose which side I prefer. I feel like the cream contour was just kind of tricky for me to apply and keep where I wanted to keep, whereas the Wayne side was just an absolute piece of cake. I found it easy peasy, and it just seamlessly blended together with the bronzer. I love the finish of that bronzer. I love the tone of the bronzer. It's super natural, whereas I feel like the Patrick side, it's maybe, is it looking a bit grey? Is it looking a bit ashy? Maybe what do we think? What do you guys think? This is the Patrick side and this is the Wayne side. I feel like we have a winner. It looks so natural to me. What do you guys think on camera? Okay, so I just quickly finished off the rest of my makeup. I went in with the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude Glow highlight and my MAC Pinch Me blush, just because I wanted to see, sometimes it's kind of hard to judge when you haven't finished off your base and got everything laid down on top. And things are looking like, I'm much happier with how things look now, because it just looks finished, you know? So yeah. This side, I think it's looking really nice now. I feel like it looks very smooth, very natural, and yeah, everything kind of is just really nice and blended together. I don't think it necessarily looks super snatched, like that I've cream contoured so much, but I feel like that's because my application wasn't as precise, even though this is a diddy little brush from Refair, with a cream contour to get that snatch look. I feel like you need to use like a teeny little like pencil type of brush to draw and then blend slightly. Obviously I didn't do that, and that's just my bad. I was just trying to make it, you know, look as natural, but it does look snatched. But I'm just in the mirror when I'm looking between the two sides, this side is so much more snatched, and that's generally what people say, that cream contour, it's more natural. This cream contour with the powder bronzer is going to be more natural, more subtle, because that's just the nature of a cream contour. It's a little more intimidating and tricksy as far as the application, but the end result is super natural and blended and seamless, and that's what I feel like I'm seeing here. Whereas this side, I feel like it's more snatched. The finish of the bronzer and the colour is just everything to me. I absolutely love it. I think it's so natural. but I love the luminosity that the bronzer gives. At the same time, that contour is just snatched, like sharp cheekbone. Can you see the difference? But both sides look great to me. I feel like I will continue to use both sides. I just, yeah, fair play. This is definitely the side. I found it easier. I found it less intimidating because it's just what I'm used to. I'm used to working with powder products. But this side, it definitely is like more seamless and more natural. So once again, the Patrick Tar side and the Wayne Goss side. Who won in your eyes? Yeah, as always, please let me know what you guys think. I really enjoyed both of these. The Wayne powders just feel so soft and buttery and creamy, both to swatch and to apply. It just blended out like an absolute dream. I know I'm going to keep reaching for this over and over again. Likewise, with the Patrick Tar, the cream contour is just, it's not something I excel at. It's not something I'm that used to, but I'm super excited to keep trying it and playing around with brushes as well, because I love the end result and I think it's super natural, and I think that I can get better at this side. You know, this side, it is what I'm used to, so I do want to kind of go back and forth and try them both on, you know, both sides of my face, if that makes sense. So yeah, I really am impressed with both of these products. So as always, I'm just going to keep playing with these, and I will update you in my monthly faves and fails to see how I've got on and to see how I feel. I think at this moment, I do slightly prefer the Wayne side. I feel like it's a little more snatched. It's less like subtle and natural of a contour than the cream side. That's generally how creams versus powders goes. I didn't have any issues with either side, but I like the overall finished effect. And I think it's the color of that bronzer that is just, and the finish. I love, you know, I love a luminous finish, and I love it on this side. I feel like it's very flattering and it just looks super snatched. This side though, I keep coming back to it. It's just really nice to have such a beautifully natural finish. And like I said, I feel like using different brushes, playing around, I can get better. And who knows, this side may overtake. But at the moment, I think the Wayne side is just edging it, maybe slightly. What do you guys think? Help me. I'd love to know if you guys have picked either of these products up and how you are getting on with it. I'm pretty impressed. I'm pretty excited and pretty happy that it was, you know, both, there was no fails here. Both were successful. I hope you found this video helpful, and I'd love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye.